I'm here with the wonderful
Glenn Mackintosh.
Now, I've got Glenn here for a really good chat today because he is the weight psych, and I've been having a look at a couple of his programs online, one in particular called Foundations for Success.
First program that we start off with most people.
Yes, yep. And it was all about goal setting, which I really love because I honestly think that this is something that people struggle with. You know, they either find it really overwhelming or they find it really motivational, but they struggle to stick with it. And so Glenn is a king at talking about this stuff. So I wanted to chat to you today about some of that so we can get some awesome tips.
I love talking about that. And Libby, you said it so well. Some people are so afraid of setting goals because they've done it and it's just freaked them out.
Yeah.
And other people, they get right into it, but sometimes they actually sort of shoot themselves in the foot from the start by setting them up the wrong way, and then they can't follow through.
That's probably a few people I know, including myself from time to time. So look, I guess let's start there then. You know, at the start of every year, a lot of people will set weight goals in particular, and that's your thing, right? Yeah. So the problem is that a lot of people don't end up following through with those. And I mean, why do you think that is?
You're totally right, Lib. Weight is the biggest New Year's resolution.
Yes, it's huge.
Yeah, the biggest, and it's also probably the most failed. So we know that like about 95 to 98% of people won't reach their weight goals.
Yeah, and I see this all the time with our girls.
Totally.
So and you know, for that reason we often say it's maybe not the best goal to set, but why is it that people don't often reach it, do you think?
Yeah, I think that sometimes, probably a couple of things.
Yeah.
One is we just zoom in on the scales so much, like it becomes everything.
Oh,
like the gatekeeper to happiness, success, health.
Every girl has been there.
Totally.
And a few guys too, I'd imagine.
And the other thing is, we get too ambitious.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about that, you know, the expectation versus reality. Most people expect to lose about 30% of their weight, like on average.
Yeah, yeah.
And most people end up losing about 10. So you're sort of kind of setting yourself up for failure a little bit.
Yeah, that's really interesting actually. So, okay, so now we know a few reasons why people might not be reaching it. The goals are too big, they've been a bit too ambitious, they're a little bit too scary, and it's too specific.
Totally.
And sometimes hard to actually measure, you know, weight versus body fat and all that kind of stuff.
Body composition, measurements.
Definitely.
Yep.
So how would you suggest then that people go about setting goals?
Yeah. So the first thing is, when you think about the results that you want to achieve, we talk about setting whole person goals.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it means that you think that your health and your well-being and your success is more than just a number on the scales, and you really think holistically.
So good.
So we often ask people to set maybe 3 or 4 of these, maybe 5 if they're super ambitious. And a really good way to do it is, you can do it with me now, and you can do this with any of your buff girls.
Done.
So close your eyes, take a couple of breaths. And think of yourself this time next year. And think of all of the things that would just make you really happy and healthy. Obviously don't just think about scales, but think about your whole life. Think what would help you, you know, feel like you're leading a really rich, full, meaningful, happy, healthy life. And so you want to be really holistic. Can you think of a few things?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's important for me at the moment because obviously I'm about 5 months pregnant right now, so this is a time of massive body change for me. So it was interesting because when you first said it, I immediately went, oh, would it be nice to be back to my regular one? And then you said holistic, and I went, no, you know what would make me really happy is I've got a healthy baby. They're, you know, I'm imagining the girls now, you know, in our gym, kind of like around, loving them and kind of having a good time, and being able to work and be able to train myself at the same time as having this beautiful baby who is close to me, and also, you know, feeling energized because obviously new mum can be a bit scary, so but feeling like I've got enough energy to you know, to be out there in business, in life, working out, moving. And actually it had nothing to do with, I didn't even picture once what my body looked like, which is great.
And that's the key to this process. Is your mind will, because we're so so preoccupied with weight or get hooked into weight and shape and size and looks.
Yes.
And then to zoom out from that and think about the stuff that is more important.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it is having a great life that you enjoy and that energizes you.
Yeah. And then the key then is once you've got that, put that into 3 or 4 measurable goals.
Yes.
But they have to be as measurable as the number on the scales.
Okay.
Because the scales,
that's where it gets tough.
yeah, otherwise they can seem a bit airy-fairy.
Yeah.
You know, a bit like it's, oh, the scales is, we don't really love that measure.
No.
But
it's specific.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you've got to be super specific. Like, so say if you think about yourself being fit and healthy and being able to move, think about, okay, well, you know, how would I know I was 100% there? Is it like a specific, like an Agosian workout that you can,
that I can
get back
complete
to
the
doing?
workout
Exactly.
with a good pelvic floor.
Exactly.
That I can do skipping. But no, exactly, that you're right. So yeah, okay, let's think about it. For me then it would be to, I think to be able to complete a full Buff Girls or a Goja workout. You know, as I used to, so able to do the moves that I was able to do before, and kind of slowly working myself up to be able to do that is cool.
So you'd be able to pick a workout, and then often what we say to people is give yourself little 25%, 50%, 75%, 100% measurable, just like you would do with a weight goal.
So a home workout with 15 minutes, and then, you know, being able to go for a fast walk for an hour, whatever it might be. Okay.
And then you work, then you've got your first part of your whole person goal.
Great.
Set 3 or 4 of those, and you see how into it you get.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
No focus on the scales.
No, which is really nice. And you could do that for a number of things. You know, it might be that one could be that I've got enough energy to go back to teaching 3 mornings a week.
Perfect.
And it might be that, you know, therefore I'm making sure I get enough sleep. Once I feel energized enough to do that, I might go teach 1 class a week, 2 classes a week, finally 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're there.
That's
beautiful.
Cool.
So you've already got a fitness one.
Yes.
And
a business one.
A business one. Perfect. So you've got 2 out of the 4, and that's all we do.
Yeah, great. Okay. I like that.
But then
and then set a date or something.
Yeah, put some timelines on it.
Yeah,
we like roughly a year.
Yeah,
you know?
Okay, that's cool.
It's long enough so you don't have to spaz out.
Yeah.
But it's short enough that you still got the motivation.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
The next thing you got to do...
Can I say there for 1 second? We go into this. Isn't that funny? Because you're like, it's a short enough time period, but a year is way longer than most people give themselves to reach a goal. People are like, I want a hot body in 4 weeks.
Like, we have our program as a 12-month transformation. People are like, 12 months?
Jesus.
Yeah,
okay.
Because humans, we take a long time to create new habits.
Yes.
And you post-baby, you're going to be setting, you're going to be going through like what a lot of your clients go through when they come to see you at the start, creating whole new habits.
Right back to the start.
And it takes time, guys, so take your time.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so sorry to interrupt you then. So have we got through how to set them? You make them, you set your goal, you make it measurable.
Yep. Make it holistic, make it measurable.
Yep.
Then the next thing is, you got to make sure that you follow through, because most of us, we have some goals, and even if you set them up right, it's the follow through with doing what you want to do. Yeah, it's all of us.
So how can we go about making sure that we do actually reach those goals then?
My favorite process, and you've probably heard of this before, and you guys have probably heard of this too, is the SMART goal process. So SMART is an acronym. It stands for setting specific goals.
Yes.
So this is now we're switching to not what you want to achieve, but how you're going to do it. This is the part that a lot of people miss out.
Yes, all right, okay.
And with this stuff I'm talking about, I can do this with people in sessions. We can spend half an hour every session doing this.
Wow, yeah.
And I'm happy as Larry to do it, because you just keep progressing and keep resetting the goals.
1 step at a time.
Yeah, but after a while, people get so good at doing it that they're like, Glenn, I could do this myself.
Yeah, don't let me pay you for it.
And they can, so it's actually really, really easy. And I'm just talking you through so you guys can do it. We'll actually provide you some links to the sheets we use for the whole person goals and the SMART goals. So you should be able to give it a fair little crack just from our chat today.
Do it.
So yeah, specific. So for example, for you, you said, I want to get back to teaching a few Goja workouts.
Teaching 3 Just coaching 3 days a week would be a good first goal for me, I think.
Yeah, so you didn't say, oh, I want to do some training.
No.
You thought, actually, I want to get back into coaching.
Yeah, I want to get back into coaching. So I feel like my body's strong enough to do that.
Yeah. So see how it's nice and specific.
Yes.
So you really want to get specific. It's not, I want to exercise more. It's, I want to walk 3 times a week.
Yeah.
It's measurable.
Yes.
So you know whether you've got there or you haven't. It's totally cool if you haven't, but you want an actual measure so you know whether you've got there. It's action oriented. So the A is for action oriented. It's not about what you want. It's
about what you're doing.
How you're going to get it. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's realistic.
Yes.
I ask my clients to ask themselves the realistic question twice. So like, Glenn, I haven't walked in a year. I'm going to walk 6 days a week. And I say, is that realistic? And they go, yeah.
And they're like, is it?
And they go, oh, okay, let's do 3.
Let's do 3.
So if you want to ask yourself the realistic twice, and even another extension of that is when you're creating new habits, which we're always doing in health, is it realistic, but is it sustainable?
Okay, yeah, well that's important, because if you make a goal to train for 1 hour a week, 6 days a week, and you might be able to do that for a short period of time, but will you be able to do that in 3 years?
And really, it's, you don't want to be doing this like everyone does.
No.
Worrying about the short-term goal. We will never live with our clients. We will never do anything that undermines their long-term progress. And sometimes if you set a short-term goal just to get some result that you're not going to continue, it undermines the long-term process. So we never do that. And I would encourage you guys to never do that. If you want to create habits that last for life, if you can't do it forever, don't set a plan to do it.
Well, that's really important actually, because, you know, I talk a lot about creating a really positive and healthy life culture for yourself. And like, you know, like anyone who's worked in a business or owned a business, been in a business, you know that the culture of the team is really important. Like the culture of that office space is super important. And I really believe it's the same for your life. You know, the culture of your life, the culture of your life and your family is really important. Like, is it a lazy culture? Is it an unhealthy culture? Or is it a, you know, an active, adventurous, healthy, energized culture, and you have to be able to create that. So that makes a lot of sense to me, to look at the whole life. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's got to be a healthy culture, like you described, not I'm going to smash myself for 6 weeks and then go back to lazy culture. So it's like developing any culture. You know, you start off with your old habits and you slowly move towards. So there's nothing wrong with setting some really balanced, really moderate goals. And then if you smash them, go a little bit further.
Go further.
Yeah.
Love it.
The T is for timed. You know, you don't want your goals to be this never-ending horizon.
Never-ending story. No, everyone was scared of that white dog.
Falcor, the luck dragon, he was amazing. You were scared of him?
I was scared of him.
He was my homie.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
So goals, specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and timed. And that's the goals. Once you've set the foundation, that's where you do how you're going to get there. And I recommend people do that every week or 2.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It'll only take you, when you get good at it, it'll take you 2 minutes.
So when you say you do it every week or 2, does that mean that you are just rechecking in with that same goal, that you're going, are my goals the same? Do I need to shift them? Are there new goals in there?
So what we tend to do is you always want once you've set them, because you will set them, you get your whole person goals.
Yes.
So you're knowing like the broader strokes of where am I going? And then you're setting these SMART goals. Typically you'll set a few ones. And if you get stuck, I say set an eating one.
Got it.
Set a movement one.
Okay, so the overall big goals, same.
Yep, stay the same.
Do the SMART every couple of weeks.
Every couple of weeks. And then just so you're just fine tuning. I call those sessions steps to success sessions. So you're just making sure you're reviewing the last goals. Okay, what went well? What can I do better? How am I going to do that? And then that informs, okay, what are the next goals? They might be exactly the same. Or they might be like, I'm going to push it a little bit further or do it a little bit differently.
Yes, or go about it a different way because that's not working or it is working.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, that makes sense. So as I'm kind of listening to you talk about this, Glenn, it's interesting because you make it sound like you have a deep belief that everyone kind of is able to do this quite simply, and in fact has this kind of motivation or fire inside them to, like, everyone wants to create a goal, everyone wants to chase a goal, and it seems like you think everyone can do it.
Absolutely.
So tell me a bit more about that, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting that you should say that, Liv, because I struggled with helping clients set weight goals I've been doing this for 15 years now. And I was seeing all these people setting these weight goals with all of the problems, and I stopped setting goals with people for a while, just focus on healthy habits. And then the problem with that though is sometimes, and you might have done this yourself, you just kind of float. So it's not as good.
Like you have established some healthy habits, but
you really want to, you get to a certain level, but it's not exactly where you want to be. And then, so then I developed this whole person smart goal setting process, and it's something that anyone can do. I'm really happy to do it with my clients. I'm not worried there's going to be any harm done, which can be done with the usual things that we do. And they're happy to do it. But it's interesting that you mention a motivation that comes from within us. Because I kind of felt like something was still missing. So I started to look into values. And I started to incorporate it into the goal setting. And this is not the goals are about what you want to achieve and the results. The values are about what's important to you and the journey. So you think about, like say a football team. You know, hopefully your football team is like the Collingwood Magpies and they're just killing it. I've lost half of it right now.
Some people are signing out now.
Stay with us. It's, you know, if a football team is winning, that's great. If it's 50-50, they've really got to play really hard. Because there's a goal at stake. To say they're 50 points behind. They still keep playing hard.
Because they're chasing.
They're chasing. What if there's no possibility that they'll win that game? They still play hard.
They do.
It's because there's some value.
There's pride.
There's pride. There's something that might be about their own pride or about sportsmanship or about playing hard. They've got something in addition to just the goal of winning that's driving them. So
it's important to them. They have a good game.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think a lot of people, we motivate ourselves with the goals, which is awesome. But they're actually healthy eating, physical activity, leading a healthy lifestyle it's important in and of itself. So regardless of whether we're almost at the goal or whether we're so far away it's not funny, there are these powerful drivers in us that say, I'll feel better today if I take care of myself. So you know how we get people who are like right at the start of their journey. And you know, they have a good day. They eat well for the day. And they're on top of the world. They're on top of the world. They haven't lost any weight. They're really, you're not fitter, but you feel good because you're in line with what matters to you.
Well, actually, that's a really good point, because another thing that I had for the first kind of 4 months of this pregnancy, I was so sick. Like, I was so sick and I couldn't work out because as soon as my heart rate would raise, I'd be spewing.
That'll do it.
I know, exactly. So I couldn't work out and I couldn't really eat as healthily as I wanted to because vegetables were just like straight to being sick. So it would be toast, you know, plain toast, and it would be like a little walk if I could manage it. But I found that, you know, really difficult. Really difficult. And it wasn't because I was putting on weight, because I wasn't yet. It wasn't because of any of that stuff. It was because the stuff that made me feel good wasn't there. And so I remember the first day that I thought, I woke up going, okay, the fog has cleared a little bit. I feel okay. I'm going to go and do a little workout. And it wasn't much. It was a 10-minute strength session in my lounge room. And I went to the office afterwards and I was just on top of the world. You know, I'd managed to work out. I'd managed to have eggs and greens for breakfast, which I was like, wow. And the whole team was like, what has gotten into you? And it was literally just that I'd taken those 2 positive actions.
You connected with what was really important to you.
And that is important to me because obviously my values are around helping people to create their own healthy life cultures. And I felt like I wasn't being a good example of that, even though I had a great reason for it.
And that's it. And I think a lot of people, they feel like if, I'm not taking good care of myself, it mustn't be important to me. But often that's why they come to see us, and that's why you're watching this video. Not that it's not important to you. You're watching because it is important to you. So even if you're not in line with it, like Libs wasn't, it's still important. So that's one thing
important.
that's really important to do, is to start to clarify and connect with your own values, because then there's motivation. Yes, I want to get to the goal, but really independent, and I think of it as underneath that motivation is a more powerful desire to stand for something, to be a certain type of a person.
I think that's really true. And I think, you know, when we were on The Biggest Loser Transformed together, I found that, you know, a year later now, or more than a year later, all the contestants are doing really well. And whenever I check in with them, it's because they're still aligning their actions to their values. So I think that's something you taught them, and something that's really important.
Absolutely. And some of them would have ongoing goals. Goals will change once you tick them off. But if you have that value, that inherent desire to be a person who moves lots and nourishes their body and takes good care of themselves, and that sticks with you no matter what.
That is the foundations for success.
Nailed it.
See what I did there?
I see what you did.